AviationPros.com is the portal website for AMT, Airport Business, and Ground Support Worldwide magazines. Visit daily for breaking news, industry blogs, and insightful articles from our magazine's editorial team. And don't forget to sign up for our publication's daily e-newsletters. It's all at AviationPros.com.
Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Gearing Up for the Competition podcast series. I'm Walker Jaroch, editor of AMT, and in this episode, I'm joined by Elena Gonzalez, an aircraft maintenance technician with American Airlines. Elena has been recognized as an American Airlines All-Star and has competed in the competition numerous times, serving as the captain of American Airlines' all-female team. Our conversation covers everything from Elena's 15-year-long professional career to what she's doing to inspire the next generation of aviation professionals. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Elena, thank you for taking the time to chat with us this afternoon. First question I got for you, can you start by telling me just a little bit about yourself, your career, and how you found your way into aviation maintenance?
Yeah, definitely. So I think I'm one of those cliches. I guess I'll start with how I found aircraft maintenance before I talk about my career right now. But I think I'm one of those cliches that says when they were a kid and they fell in love with aviation, and that's kind of what happened with me. And then in high school, I was offered the opportunity to go to a magnet school that was for aircraft maintenance. I had no clue it was about aircraft maintenance. I just knew it was something aviation related. And I decided, let's go ahead and give it a go. And I did that. And I guess you can kind of say the rest is history. I've been an aircraft maintenance technician now for like 15 years, quite a while actually. And I'm currently working for American Airlines.
And if I understand correctly, this will be your third or fourth year participating in the competition. Can you share some highlights from your experiences there?
Yeah, definitely. So I think I have two things that come to mind when I think about the highlights of it. I think the first one was the first year when I was competing in the safety wire event. When I got done, to have the judge come over to me and say it was such a pleasure to watch you safety wire because they're all perfect. And to me, that's kind of funny because when I first got into the industry, I absolutely dreaded safety wiring. So to kind of come to that point, that was something that was really awesome. And the other aspect of it is the people that you meet. Our last year when my team was competing, we were really nervous because we were going up against the United MRO team. And we know how much they practiced. And, you know, those guys, they know their stuff, you know. But they were so kind and they were so helpful, even in their events where they were yelling at us to kind of tell us what to do. And it was awesome to kind of have that camaraderie with all of them there. So for me, the competition in itself, it has really, in my mind, done a lot when it comes to my personal and professional because of the fact that I've met so many incredible people. And then on top of it, you're working on different events, especially this year where we have a helicopter event, they're throwing in a thrust reverser event. So certain aspects, you know, we have worked in, but now you're branching out into new areas that not many people have the opportunity. And especially someone like me and my team where we're commercial aviation. So now to kind of have to learn more about other stuff like helicopters it's something else. It's a lot of fun.
Speaking of your team, I understand you're the captain of the American Airlines team, an all-female team at that. What are your leadership qualities kind of in general when you're guiding your team through these challenges?
So I believe in communication. So when I'm dealing with things on the other side with the company, I make sure that my team knows everything right away. Whenever there's new updates that come out, my team they know as soon as I know. You know, communication is such a huge factor. And on top of that, you know, being an active listener. So when they're unsure about things or if they need things, you know, not just listening to them, but actively taking it and fixing whatever the issue might be or helping them with it. You know, I think that's something that I feel really has benefited me, especially with the roles that I've been taking on recently at work. You know, I deal with our active leadership on top of working with the mechanics. So being able to listen to what people need and then being able to communicate back to them, it's something that I think is invaluable, honestly. And on top of it, having empathy, because when we go through these events, you're putting yourself in a lot of pressure. And being able to kind of understand that and help continue to push my team to go forward, even when they feel unsure, is something that I think works really well with my team. And that's something that I've also been able to bring back to the floor as well. And that, to me, ties in all together between the communication, the active listening, and the empathy.
So with 15 years of experience under your belt, what are the unique opportunities and challenges you've faced in your career?
So I always find that to be a question for me when it comes to unique or challenging, because I feel like I've always been the type of person who likes to run before I can walk. I've always put myself in situations that are challenging for me. So, even at work, where in Miami, I've put myself on a crew that we have to figure out what's going on, fix the issue when nobody else can fix it, and get the aircraft out. And so for me, I like that type of challenge, and being able to push myself to those limits has allowed me unique opportunities like the one that I currently have, where I'm focused on the electronic logbook that American is putting together, as well as what we call a subject matter expert.
And you've been identified as an all-star by American Airlines and a potential role model for other young people coming into the aviation maintenance industry, choosing it as a career path. What strategies do you believe are effective in encouraging young people to explore this field as a potential career?
It's always weird to me when I hear that, because I don't think of myself in that way whatsoever. But I've definitely done my best to kind of give back. I've been fortunate that from a young age, American Airlines had an interest in me because of the fact that they donated an aircraft to the school. I was able to help with those projects. And then on top of it, I was able to intern with them in Miami. And that's not an opportunity that many people get. And so when you start to experience stuff like that, you can't really pay back to the people that gave to you. So the best thing that you can do in that point is just pay it forward. And that's what I've tried to do. In regards to how you can do more, I do a lot. I think one of the best ways, especially with the way technology is nowadays, social media plays such an awesome role in that. There's so many people out there that don't know anything about aircraft maintenance. And when you put it on a platform like that, it allows them to see it, and it puts something in their mind thinking, is this something that could potentially be good for me? And on top of it, when you start working with kids at a young age, I used to work a lot with AWAM, the Association for Women in Aviation Maintenance, and they make wire bracelets with the kids. And that's something that I have continued on to this day. And it's just an incredible thing when you see a kid and they get so excited over building their own bracelet out of, they have it's aircraft wiring that we have, and then we have little connectors on the end of it. And I like to explain it to the kids from the standpoint of like the human body. I compare the wiring to our nervous system, and when we are hurt, our brain tells us, ow. And that's what this does with the computers. And it's really rewarding when you just see them light up over how you're explaining it, and then giving them the tools to be able to make this by themselves. And they probably never thought about something like that before.
That's excellent. And I love that pay it forward kind of philosophy you have. I'd love to get your take as a woman in this kind of traditionally male-dominated field. What has your kind of approach been to kind of overcoming these stereotypes out there? And what advice would you give to other young women aspiring to enter aviation maintenance?
This sounds weird when I say it like this, but I always say, do you. A lot of people are always going to have their thoughts and opinions. When I first came into the industry, and I will say this, I feel that the industry has changed a lot. When I first got started, there was still very much a stereotype when it came to women being here. I don't see that as much nowadays, but I definitely do tell them, do you, focus on you, put your best foot forward. That's something that people cannot take away from you. You have to have confidence within yourself and the work that you are putting out, and you have to apply yourself. Knowledge is power. And especially in aviation, we are always learning. This is an industry where every single day new manuals come out or something new on aircraft, and so you always need to apply yourself. So when you do that, no one will second guess you, and you shouldn't be second guessing yourself.
And then turning back to the competition, what advice would you have for first-time competitors this year?
So I like to think about my first year in competing. So my first event was the safety cable from DMC. I was so nervous during that event that I was shaking, and I was trying to hold the tooling while trying to feed the cable through, and I could not stabilize my hand quick enough to be able to feed the cable through. And then there was another situation where I was working on the PNG transparencies, and I happened to turn around, and right when I did, I happened to see our senior VP, our VP of maintenance, and our DOM of maintenance all there watching us. And I froze. I completely froze. I'm sitting there trying to read the paperwork. My team members come over and they're like, "Are you good? What do you need?" And I'm like, "I don't know." They're like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I don't know." It's funny now. At the time, it wasn't funny. But I have to say, if I were to give any advice, just based off of those two stories, is your first event is usually the most difficult one. Take a deep breath. Remember everything that you did when you trained for this event. Block out the noises, block out the people walking around you. Focus on just the task that you have in front of you. And that's all that matters at that point within those 15 minutes that you have for that event. And the other thing is, rely on your teammates. Your teammates are there to support you as you are to support them. And we have to work together in these events. And definitely, if you are stuck, reach out to them and they will be there for you.
Excellent advice. And Elena, this has been a wonderful conversation. Any final thoughts before we wrap up here?
I just want to say good luck to everybody that's competing this year. It's an exciting year with all of the new events that we have coming in. So it's going to be a challenge for everybody, and I just wish everyone the best of luck.
Yeah, good luck to everybody out there who might be listening and competing. And Elena, thank you again for taking the time to chat with us today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of our podcast series with Elena. We'll return next month with another installment of the Gearing Up for the Competition series. But until then, I encourage you all to visit AviationPros.com for more stories from around the aviation industry. And if you have an idea or story that you think AMT should cover, write me at walker@aviationpros.com. Until next time, thanks again for listening.